What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I know I am, and if you are, I'd appreciate you pressing the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam. You'll be forced to drink chocolate milk until your lower intestine explodes from the amount of pressure that the brown cow drink gave you, because I'm pretty sure that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Today's video is gonna be a little bit longer because it's a pretty long story that details my cousin's stupidity. My cousin is pretty dumb. I don't know what I'm titling this video. Probably something about like kids being stupid because well, what my cousin did was pretty stupid, but it'll be pretty entertaining. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I have a younger cousin who I think is like 13, 14 now. He's about the same age as my youngest brother, and he's a little bit jealous of my youngest brother. My youngest brother's got the hookup. He has two older siblings that are YouTubers, so you know, like whenever I get a new mouse or anything, I'll give it to him. I gave him my old computer. He's just gotten the hookup, and my other cousin was pretty jealous of that. I'm not really sure why, but he was pretty jealous. And my brother has a pretty cool setup in his room, and over the holidays, so like around Christmas, they had come over to my parents' house to stay for the holidays, and he had stayed with my brother in his room, and the entire time he kept commenting about how it was unfair that he had this cool setup in his room, and da-da-da-da-da, and all this stuff. And one day, while my brother is sleeping, my cousin goes around the room, gets every individual item, and he wakes up, tells my brother the exact dollar amount it would have taken to buy everything. Which is kind of weird to be like, I know exactly how much money your mom and brother gave you to get this room, all the stuff that you have. I know its exact value down to like individual model numbers, okay? Which is just kind of weird. My family, except for like my immediate family, for whatever reason, is super weird about money. I have my one cousin that, you know, tried to break into my grandma's house on Easter. That's another story on this channel. And this kid is from the same family, so I can't really say I'm surprised that he's a greedy little poo-poo head. Anyways, he tells my brother the exact dollar amount of stuff in his room, and my brother obviously didn't know, and he's like, okay. And he basically says, well, you should tell, you know, your brothers to give me some stuff, so that way it's fair. And listen, I'm not trying to be mean, like, yeah, the kid's in my family, but cousin, I feel like, is not in that immediate circle of people that you help out as soon as you blow up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie, YouTube ad revenue isn't horrible. The first people I helped out was my parents, my grandparents, then my siblings, and then, you know, I have to live too, okay? Like, after helping everybody out, I gotta live too. I'm not Shane Dawson out here. I've now got 15 million subs launching makeup lines, okay? Like, chillax. I also want to be able to exist. I don't really have enough to be helping out every family member that exists. Not to mention, dude, your parents are fine. Like, it's not like you guys are hurting for anything. He has a computer, it's just not as good as my old one. It's not like this kid is sleeping in a room with a cardboard box on the floor. So my brother doesn't tell me about this, and the reason that I end up finding out about it, is because that night when I come over for like Christmas dinner or, you know, to hang out for a bit, my cousin starts hounding me, demanding that I give him my current PC and go get a new one. And I don't plan on getting rid of my current PC for a very, very, very long time. I'm not gonna lie, I pimped it out last time I got it because I wanted to start streaming, which I definitely should do more of, and if you're ever interested in seeing it, twitch.tv/SCRUBBYOG. Gotta plug. And I'm kind of like, nah, dog, sorry, but I like my computer. Also, I don't really like you that much, I'm not gonna lie. Call me crazy, but just because you're my family doesn't mean that I have to like you. And when you spend every second that I see you every year begging me for stuff, it doesn't make me want to vibe with you. So he's on my nerve, and I basically end up telling him off right before we like open presents on Christmas Eve, telling him it's annoying and to stop, and like it's not a very good way to get stuff. And his aunt starts beefing with me, saying it's only fair that if I do stuff for my brother, I do it for my cousin, which, once again, that's just not how family works, especially when my cousin is a spoiled brat, you know? And like I said, dude, my aunt and uncle are low-key more ballin' than I am, by far, okay? I'm not out here with a Cayman bank account, I'm just not. Don't get me wrong, I'm not starving at night, but I'm definitely not pulling up in a Bugatti, okay? Like, I don't have the money to be giving everybody that asks a free PC. So whatever, you know, there's all this beef, everybody's mad at each other, Christmas is very awkward, the usual that happens when this family is present, you know? I don't know why we even invite them anymore, because all they do is ruin everything, and now my calf has a bite mark on it from the last time I had to deal with this dude's brother, so that's life sometimes. Anyways, so that's very awkward, and after that, I just stopped talking to them. I'm like, look, you know, you guys are great, but I don't want to have to associate with you outside of holidays, so I don't hear anything. The next time that I hear anything is right before, you know, Coronacation started and the entire world shut down and, like, nobody was allowed to leave their houses anymore or go do anything. I get a call from my aunt, frantic, and I pick it up, and she is screaming at me saying that I owe her all this money, and like, how dare I, and I'm basically the reason that her engagement ring is gone, and I don't know what the hell she's talking about, because I have not spoken to them since Christmas. I have no clue what has happened in like the last month, alright? No idea. Oh my gosh, that raise was so bad, I should have died. So I finally get her to calm down. I'm like, all right, what do I owe you a ton of money for? Because it's news to me. The only people that I thought I owed money to was the IRS. So that's the only person that I was conscious of. And she starts explaining, or trying to explain calmly, that her engagement ring is gone and it's all my fault. And so I politely explain that, well, I haven't seen you in a month, so obviously if you didn't notice for a month it wasn't that important, and B, I don't have it. What would I want with my aunt's engagement ring? I'm like a 20-year-old dude, okay? I can't do anything with an engagement ring except for stuff that I don't want to do. And finally, she's like, I'm just gonna put your uncle on the phone. Okay, sure. So my uncle gets on the phone and he basically says that we have a problem and like I need to rectify it immediately because I'm partially to blame. And so I just say, what in the world has happened that I'm responsible for? And he basically says that my cousin, who had been begging me for, you know, a PC and a whole new setup and all this money at Christmas, had decided that his room wasn't cool enough and he needed new stuff. So he, while his mom was sleeping, took her wedding ring, or like her engagement ring, the ring that's worth a ton of money, went to the pawn store as a kid in a sketchy neighborhood, sold it for way less than it was worth, took the cash to a grocery store, bought a crap ton of Visa gift cards, and then had gone crazy ordering stuff. And when I say that he sold it for $6,000. Apparently it was worth more than that, which is nuts to me because like it's literally a rock. It's just not that big of a deal. Anyways, he's telling me the story and I let him finish and I'm like, all right, well, I don't really see how this is my problem. And I'm not even kidding you. The kid had just stolen his parents', you know, like prized possession or whatever the hell. They're calling me saying that it's my fault because if I would have just gotten him a PC at Christmas, he wouldn't have felt inadequate and stolen anything. Yes, that's right. Him begging, obviously led to him stealing his parents' his mom's engagement ring and selling it, and it's my fault. How could I be so stupid as to think I have nothing to do with it? Yeah, that's right. If you ever get told no, it becomes a thing for any crime. Could you imagine? You're like, well, I asked the Subway for a free sandwich, and they said no, so it justifies why I robbed them. I needed the $5 to buy a sandwich, duh. If they wouldn't have told me no, I wouldn't have robbed them. That's the same level of logic, but like I said, this extension of my family, low-key, just has maybe 2 brain cells between all of them. So I, not very politely tell my uncle to shove it where the sun don't shine, and I hang up the phone, and I think that's gonna be the end of it. And as you can tell, considering the video isn't even halfway over yet, that was not the end of it, sadly. So basically, a couple days later, I get a call from my mom, and she's like, what did you do? And I'm just, you know, what do you mean? And she basically says that my aunt and uncle have been non-stop bugging her about how I owe them money and like apparently, you know, I'm just the worst human being to ever exist and all this stuff. And I basically catch her up to speed with what happens. And she's like, well, do you want to know what your very smart cousin ended up doing with the money that he got from pawning his mom's engagement ring? And I'm like, sure, you know, fill me in. And she basically says that he went home, ordered 3 Xboxes, which is honestly just not a very good use of your money because it's not like you can play more than 1 at a time anyways. It's definitely just not that wise of an idea to buy 3 of one console. Like, what are you gonna do? Play 3 Xboxes at the same time? I don't think so. A PC, and so far I'm like, oh, okay, this is, you know, it's stupid, but it's pretty normal stuff for a 13-year-old to buy with a stolen credit card because it doesn't make any sense, you know? Like, most 13-year-olds are not criminal masterminds, I hate to tell you, but buying 3 Xboxes is a terrible waste of money, but my cousin also only has 3 brain cells once again, so I can't say I'm surprised. And then my mom is like, oh wait, there's more, and this is when it gets interesting. He ordered $50,000 worth of fake money from a prop website that cost him $1,000. He paid $1,000 for a fake $50,000. I don't even know how that's possible, considering fake money is like $2 on Amazon, but my cousin is somehow this stupid. But the real piece de resistance, as you can tell from the title, he decided that he was going to spend $1,000 on a fidget spinner. But what he didn't realize is that the diamond-encrusted fidget spinner that he tried to buy for $1,000 because, you know, you gotta be iced up with a fidget spinner in 2020. I think my cousin might be like 4 years behind on the trends because those weren't even cool in 2017, let alone like 2016, all right? So whatever, obviously, my cousin is not very big brain, but instead, he just spent $1,000 on multiple boxes of fidget spinners. So now my aunt and uncle don't have the engagement ring, which he sold for a quarter of its value, apparently. But they also now have boxes and boxes of crappy painted gold fake diamond fidget spinners that they have no idea what to do with because my cousin is just an absolute moron. Anyways, I'm telling my mom, I'm like, yeah, they want me to pay for it. She's like, yeah, I know. They trust me. They've been telling me that it's your fault because you didn't give the kid a PC at Christmas. And she's like, did you even see them between Christmas and when you got the call? No, I haven't. She is basically like, yeah, our family is nuts. We don't have to talk to them anymore, which is great because all they do is cause problems, right? So obviously, it's not an ideal situation for sure. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. And that's when I tell my mom something that I thought of. So I don't think that pawn shops are like legally allowed to buy from children. So I don't know why I'm getting blamed by my family when it's definitely the pawn stars, like the pawn stars. I guess the pawn stars are at fault. The pawn shop's fault because what 13-year-old has like $1,000 ring that isn't stolen? Like this pawn shop is definitely to blame. So I tell my mom to tell that to my aunt and uncle because I'm not talking to them. I've blocked their numbers at this point. I'm over it. I'm not paying for their kid being an idiot. And I feel like that's the right thing to do. I know some of you guys in the comments are probably going to be like, well, maybe you should have just bought your cousin a computer. But no, look at how entitled this kid is, dude. He really, really thinks that I'm going to come bail him out because he was a moron with his mom's possessions. Like, sorry, you gotta learn your lesson somehow. Stealing is just wrong. I'm not gonna bail out my cousin that's an idiot that I never said I was gonna pay for anything in the first place with. It's not like I broke a promise. Plus, even if I did, I didn't tell him to steal his mom's stuff and go sell it at a pawn store. That definitely would not have been my go-to piece of advice for a young kid who's like, man, I really want an Xbox. How should I get money? My advice definitely would have never been, I don't know, steal from your mom? Like, that's terrible advice. I would have never done it. So I basically call my aunt and uncle and I tell them, or I don't call, sorry, I tell my mom to tell them. You guys get what I'm saying, all right? I tell someone to tell them that it's the pawn store's fault and I'm not paying for it. And their response to my mom is simply, well, we don't want a local business to suffer, so we're not going to deal with the pawn store, which I mean, fantastic. You don't want the business that did something illegal to suffer. No. Instead, yes, let's punish your nephew and make him pay for my son's stupidity. Let's make our family suffer instead. Yummy. Good idea. I really like this. That makes a ton of sense, doesn't it? Sorry that your kid is so stupid he can't even order a diamond-encrusted fidget spinner right and he messes up and orders boxes of them instead. That's your son, alright? You're the one who raised someone with the reading comprehension of a diabetic blind Helen Keller. I guess, you know, not that the diabetes has anything to do with reading comprehension because, you know, she's blind, so like I said, this is the end of January, beginning of February, and I basically tell my uncle, screw off, I'm not paying, you know, if you got problems, I guess you can sue me because I didn't do anything. Like, I'm not gonna pay for your kid being stupid. And they decide that they're gonna get my grandma involved. And my grandma is like my favorite lady on the planet. I'm not gonna lie. Me and her are super close. And my grandma, thankfully, tells them exactly what I did, which is your kid is the one who stole it. It's not, you know, Ryan's fault. Which, thank you, Grandma, for having a brain and common sense. That's what you get out of being the favorite grandchild, too, is she's always going to agree with you, and I don't think I did anything wrong. So once, you know, my grandma kind of is like, well, yeah, your son was stupid. It's not Ryan's responsibility to fix your son's stupidity. They decide that they're going to try to guilt trip me. And they have this 13-year-old kid write me a handwritten letter in terrible handwriting being like, I honestly used to look up to you. I'm disappointed in who you're becoming. Like, I can't believe you're the person that I used to look up to, which I mean, so sad. Maybe I shouldn't be your kid's role model then. I'm not his brother. I'm not I'm his cousin, so I don't really care if he doesn't like me. Plus, if I was his role model before, then I was a terrible role model considering he stole his mom's engagement ring and sold it. So maybe it's better that he doesn't look up to me. Maybe you're right. I should just keep staying exactly like this because trust me, it's way better for his life if he doesn't keep doing what he's been doing. So I stay strong. I'm not paying for anything. And then obviously Coronacation happens and my family is trying to now guilt trip me by saying that it's my fault that their economic situation is suffering because, it's definitely my fault that their economic situation is going to fall apart because their son stole their ring, which I mean, were you going to sell your ring anyways? Like, if not, then, it doesn't really impact your economic situation at all because you weren't going to have that money anyways. But sure, it's my fault. Plus, they both work for like a medical company, so they're still working. I don't understand how their economic situation is being hurt. But yeah, my entitled cousin is basically such a moron that he took his mom's engagement ring, pawned it for way less than it was worth, and now it's apparently my fault and my responsibility to fix it. The real moral of the story is that kids are stupid, and my aunt and uncle, if you're watching this, because I know you know my channels, suck one. I'm not paying you at all. Your kid's just a moron. I don't care if I'm related to him. Yes, I might have some of the similar genes, but he's never going to be wearing my pants if you pick up my drift. I don't really know what my drift was with that, to be honest. It just sounded really smart because I said jeans before, and like jeans are pants, Yeah, kids are dumb. On that note, guys, be sure to press the like button. If you press the like button, you're not dumb. That's proven science. Comment down below. Follow me on my Instagram at Scrubby, Twitter at Scrubby_69 for the latest. Check out the merch down below. It's very fly. And if you're looking for some energy, head on over to gfuel.com. Use code Scrubby at checkout for a discount. Other than that, guys, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. Today's notification shout out goes to the fantastic, super handsome Avery Giuliani. Big thank you for that, having on those noties. As I've already said once, but just to reiterate, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.